Hello, Luca. You're on the air.
Hello. Can
Hello.
you guys hear me?
We can. And the call screener did share your question with us, but I think it'd be best if you just took a crack at it, and we'll give our best answer.
Okay. So, this is a question to both of you guys. I am also a fellow Ancap, and uh, so my question was that, like, we know that anarcho-capitalism is a legal theory. It is a theory about what the law should be, and not proposal of a particular way of governance or a particular way of organizing society, right? But that being said, what I was thinking about is that given uh, given that being the case, what do you guys think about which what kind of society would a arise from anarcho-capitalism? What kind of societies, and you know I can make it plural. What kind of societies, what kind of structures can arise? For example, we know of the insurance model, that insurance agencies can, in effect, take over security. We know of covenant community model in which, private owners can create strict covenants which can serve as, local governances. uh, do you think other models can also exist? Even particularly wacky ones, uh, a bunch of people just swear to make one guy, voluntarily a king or something. Like, and the important question also being there, like, what model do you prefer? Like, which one makes the most sense to you from like a personal economic point of view, or just a personal preference point of view, and why?
So, yes, I do agree with Hopper's argument that insurance is very much likely to fill the role of defense. Now, it's certainly not going to be exhaustive. If there are certain aggressions that are not insurable, certain crimes against you that you couldn't insure against.
Mhm.
For instance, aggressions that like maybe you are provoking, right? If I'm like a super controversial figure, now I might want to be a super controversial figure, and it's entirely within my rights, but I'm not going to be able to get insurance against going into the hood and being controversial towards African American communities, right? I'm not going to be able to get insurance against that because I'm provoking people,
Mhm.
maybe perhaps deliberately so even. Um, Now, I still might want to be protected against that, in which case you can have other forms of defense of your rights, which aren't covered by insurance. Um, as far which sort of society I would prefer to live in, well, I mean, it'd be hard to say any specifics, of course, because this is like ask like a Soviet. Well, what sort of restaurant would you most want to eat at? It was like when you get to the food court, it's like, oh, that one looks
Mhm.
I kind of fancy that one. You want to see it in action, and then you can go that society looks like the best for me. I'm gonna go and live there. I will say on one point there, um, yeah, you could have all manner of structures licitly arising, but for the voluntary king one in particular, was one example you brought. You could have a thing like that, but it could only continue so long as everybody continues to consent to it. Like there are these dominatrixes. Some like high powered businessman will like pay a lady
Mhm.
to step on his balls or whatever. Um, Now you can have a you can have an arrangement like that, certainly, so long as everybody keeps consenting to it. If at some point somebody decides, you know what, this isn't for me anymore, I'm kind of that's enough ball sapping for me today. Then it's like, okay, well, you got to cut it off right there and then. And the
Mhm.
same thing is true of the voluntary monarch, I would say.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, the only
And
the oh sorry.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add to that. I think Zulu has absolutely hit the nail on the head, as always. The only thing I would add is that for me personally, and I think this is really just like a practical thing, I always try to make it a habit to just not try. And this is not disagreement with Zulu in the slightest. I totally 100% agree with what he said enthusiastically. I try to, and this is more so outside of the scope of, I mean, we're obviously talking to Ancaps in front of Ancaps here, but I try to avoid any kind of forecasting about what's probable to happen. And when it comes to bureaucratic concerns, like you're talking about, like what would it look like, I'm also not 100% sure what's going to be best just because of the incompleteness of the information that I have. So I am completely convinced that insurance is likely going to be what emerges and would be one of the best explanations. But for me, to answer the question right down to the specific words you asked about, my preferences are that whatever, like, society's a group of interacting individuals, right, at the most simple, basic level. And whatever trend we're going towards, I prefer there to be less aggression tomorrow than there was today. And I prefer that whatever structures we form are making the incentives better so that the prevailing incentives are against aggression, against low time preference, or against immediate satisfaction is what I mean to say there. And then those are sort of like, so instead of trying to pick out one particular arrangement, rather, for me, I think it's more about what's the feeling in the current, and that's just going to take me where it's going to take me. And I'm 100% convinced, well, within reason, that the answer Zulu gave is where that current's going to take us, just on a technical level. So I hope that that gives you a well-rounded perspective on that question.
Yeah, it does. And thank you to both of you. And just a small question would be, can I clip this little part and put it on my channel as well?
Absolutely. I think that'd be
Okay.
great. As long as you link us.
Oh, of course.
All right.
And all right. See you guys. Bye bye.
Thanks so
Have a good
much.
one.
Thanks for calling in. I look forward to hearing from you again. That's a name that I recognize from Zulu's server for a long